Hi, it's Leigh here. Thanks for joining me. I'm trying to use up my crafting supplies and recycle a whole heap of things. And I might have mentioned this before, but anyway, that's what I'm trying to do. And in a clean-up recently, I found a whole stack of these cards. They're postcard size, and I had them made up for when I was selling my artwork online. And I wanted a little card to put in with my paintings when I sent them off. So I had these made up, and I think it's just such a waste to throw them away. The information on them is no longer relevant, but they're so beautiful. I really don't want to get rid of them. So what I thought I'd do was just paint out the information that I don't need on there and leave the card with that beautiful flowery pattern on it. So I have, I'm not going to obviously do the whole pile with you today, but I've got a few that I would like to get ready to make some Shabby Chic cards out of. And I've got this colour paint. This is acrylic paint, so it's Matisse Flow and it's unbleached titanium. So it's a nice, you know, I suppose you'd call it ecru, something like that. A bit like beige without being beige. So I'm going to see if that will cover that card up. It's quite a dark colour, so it might need a couple of coats, but I don't want it to be completely obliterated, if you know what I mean. So I'll just put a little bit of the paint on that paper bag, and I'm just going to go over this. Yeah, that's perfect. That's exactly the sort of finish I want. I don't know what it'll be like once it dries, so you can still see a bit of it through there. I'm just going to take that around the edge of the flower. Okay, so that's what it looks like now. So that's what it started as, and that's what it looks like. And I did also think about using white gesso, but I think this paint is slightly more opaque, and it's going to cover up that writing. It doesn't matter if some of the writing shows through, or if some of the flower gets covered up, just as long as it's not in your face anymore like it was. So I think they look quite nice. So I'm going to do a few of them, then I'll do the backs of them, and then I'll decorate a couple once the paint is dry. So it's acrylic paint and it will dry pretty quickly. I love this little roller. It's brayer. It's the first time I've used it. I got it from Temu because I have a little one this size which I cannot find, and I needed to replace it. So lots of good stuff on Temu when you're looking for something. I actually like the patchy bit. I'm going to leave that one like that. You can still see a bit of the thank you there. So that's 4 done. Probably do 10 all up, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do with them. Okay, so I've given them all a coat of gesso and added of the paint, the unbleached titanium, and also added a little bit of gesso on a couple of them. I have made some up already. So this one I started. I've just put some paper on here so it provides a writing space. Haven't done anything to the front. So these are a few that I did make up last night. So this one is just writing, so 3 pieces of lined paper on the back of it. I just left that flower uncovered because I like it, and inked around the edge. And this one, the front has got some writing space on it, and just a few little scraps of paper on that with a piece of seam binding. This was the first one I made, which was quite shabby chic. So that's an image out of a book, some lace, bit of ribbon, a little flower, bit of white doily in the background there, and on the back some more of the lace and more of the ribbon and a writing space. And this one, that's a piece of chiffon, and that here was the same picture. It was a fairly big one, and she was sitting with a basket of flowers beside her, and I just cut the flowers out of it and popped them up there to make a more cohesive image, and one that would actually fit onto my paper. So we've got a button, bit of trim, eyelash trim, some lace on the back. I've got another nice little image and some writing space, a little bit of fabric and some lace. So I've used the hot glue gun mostly to glue down the lace and the thicker things, mainly because it dries really quickly. This one, writing space on the back, a little bit more on the front, some more seam binding and ribbon. Got my image there, a little bit of corrugated paper on cardboard, some crinkled lunch wrap, like greaseproof paper, and I've just used some scraps of paper to make sort of like a frame around that image there. So I really like that. Some little cloth flowers there. This is another one. So same sort of thing. I've actually stitched around the edge of this one and got a little ruffle made from paper. That's just a page out of an old diary that never got used. There's some cheesecloth in the background there, as well as some seam binding. Yeah, the image of the lady, another piece of paper behind her, and a button. So they're the ones that I have made. I'm really happy with the way they turned out. I do actually like this plain one. Sometimes I think less is more. So I'm going to make a couple more and show you how I did them. Obviously you don't need to have cards like I've got. I'm just showing you how I'm making use of something that I have on hand. So you could have old postcards, you could have those giant playing cards, you could just have pieces of cardboard, so it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to do another one, and I've got a piece of some handmade paper here. I thought I might try and get a bit of this in. I've got this gorgeous image of a little child in a bed with their toy. I like that. What else can we put in there? Go for a bit of a dive around in my lace and fabric scraps. I've got that lace. So I'm just going to tear down my image a bit. Might be able to use this piece. So I do something like that, and I want something to go behind it. So I have got this piece, some fabric. So I think I'll just use a piece of that. I'll leave that pointy bit just to see how it ends up looking. So what I'm going to do with the glue gun is adhere that to the paper, but I'm going to scrunch it a little bit. So that'll be nice and wrinkly underneath. I think I would actually like a piece that's got a bit more colour on it. I'm going to keep as much of that purple visible as I can. Might be a better way of doing it. If I do that, then I can remove that bit from in here because I only want the top and I want the bottom. So I'm going to take that center out. Just helps reduce the bulk and saves that other bit of paper to be used for something else. So if I do something like that. And then I've got these other little scraps that I've folded. It's just one piece of paper, but I've folded it so that it's got several edges, or uneven edges. And I thought a piece of that could go there. Then I've got another piece of this old paper from a music book. It could go there. Get this bit stuck down. I don't want any points, so I'm just going to get rid of that. And this. Not so much worried about the bottom. So what I'm going to do is just apply a couple of spots of the hot glue to start with. Then I'm going to just push my fabric into it. Flatten it down a bit. So then it's nice and wrinkly on there, a bit like when you put tissue down, wrinkle that up. Okay, so I think I'll put that bit at the top. Put a little bit of something fluffy underneath that. Got that eyelash trim. I'm going to stick that onto the actual image. And then that, I think, can go, pop it up here. What I'm going to do with the hot glue is just smush it around a bit so that the eyelash part of it gets messed up. To me, it's this. I don't really like this one. It's a bit same, if you know what I mean. Like to me, it looks like it needs a haircut, but that doesn't look too bad. I want just a little bit of it peeking out. And this one can go down here. So that's barely going to be touching the image. So I'm just going to glue the image down. Just leaving a little bit of that eyelash trim showing. And then here, let me put that there. Or maybe another piece of this would look better. And I don't want to cover up that, so I could even take it off the side. Okay, so I'm going to stick this down. And I think it needs something else. I don't know about this piece here. It's just a bit too much. Got a bit of this. It might look nice across there. Yeah, I'm going to put it underneath that. Maybe just a little piece of this underneath. And there's a little gap there. I might just tuck a little piece of this in here. I love this. It's so gorgeous. It's so old. Really thin, delicate little piece of lace ribbon. Just trying to make up my mind whether to put it over or under. I think under. If I try and squeeze a little bit of glue out, don't want too much. Yeah. Oh, that's gorgeous. I love that. The only thing I don't like is this here. It's a bit, it needs a bit, I was going to cut it off, but I think it just needs a little bit more glue and a little bit of a smush to make it look a little bit more, yeah, uneven, like that. And then I should do that here as well. Yeah, sort of fold it over. Oops, it's a bit too much glue. Like that, and then a little bit here. Just so everything sort of looks like it's just fallen onto the page, and that's where it's going to stay like that. I'm just going to add a little bit of glue here just to protect that piece of paper, because that's really fragile, that paper. And I think that'll do it for that one. Gorgeous, isn't it? I love that little image. It's beautiful. Writing space on the back and on the front. Pure decoration. Okay. Now, let's do another one. So I've got this one. I had an idea to do something with this big flower that I cut out ages ago, and I was thinking I don't want the bee in it, but I want the flower, so get it into such a position where I can see the middle of the flower without seeing the bee. And that can be saved for another thing. And then pop this little girl in here. This might be a good place to use a little bit more of this fabric, handmade paper. So maybe a piece, because it's got the purple in it. Piece there maybe. And then I want some lace. Ah, that's right, I remember this piece. I did think of putting that behind her head. This was a flower I was making, and I accidentally burnt a hole in it. Didn't want to throw it away. I was thinking to use it in somehow, something like that. Actually, this might be a good place for this bit. That's so sweet along the edge there. That little scallop. I'll put that under there. Yeah, like that. So what I'm going to do is cut it off so I can keep that piece for something else. Because it's too precious to be covered up. Look at it. Just adorable. Just going to cut off that corner. And that can go under there. Still feel like it needs something right at the bottom. Maybe a piece of cheesecloth. Alright, I have a piece of cheesecloth and I'm going to stick that down and wrinkle it a little bit. So I'll leave a bit of it sticking out the top. Like that. And that piece is going to go on there. Take those points off. This is going to go like that. I'm going to wrinkle it a little bit. Okay, I'm going to glue this down. What I'll do is when I finish filming, I'll go around and glue down any loose bits. As I said, I'm just using the hot glue so I can get it in place quickly, and then I'll fix everything up off camera. So she needs her little flower behind her there. I'll pop her down towards the bottom. So it looks like she's looking up at something, doesn't it? That flower can go there. And I'm thinking I'll cut off that petal because it's a little bit, it's sticking up a bit. Just going to glue the girl down first, get her in place, and then I know exactly where this flower is going to go. This flower petal, yes. Glue her head to it and then just glue the flower down. Nothing can move then. Okay. I think I'm going to put that there. I like that. That was just an afterthought, and I actually glued this up a little bit too high, so I've got that little gap, so that'll cover that up. Press it down. This is a non-stick mat, this thing, so it's a good way of pressing down the glue. I'm going to use one of these. Just a little tussle of cheesecloth. She's a little bit big. And then I reckon a little bead in the middle of that would look nice. Okay, so I decided on this little grey button. I think it looks perfect in there. And there is one thing I would like to put down in this corner, and that's just a stamped label. So I've got some word stamps here. And I have the word dream. I think dream or imagine. I think I'll put imagine. Offcut of some fabric I was using for something else. I think I'll use a piece of this. If I go towards the bottom, I've got that raggedy little edge on the bottom there, which I think will be perfect. I'm not going to use a block or anything. It's just however it turns out is how it's going to be. Unless it's terrible. Oh, it is terrible. Hasn't stamped properly. It's probably because the fabric is a bit too coarse. Okay, so that didn't work. Let's get something else. Try this little piece of cotton here. That's better. And I'm just going to try it again on this one with that archival ink just to see how that turns out. Yep. So it was just the ink and the fact that I wasn't using a block. I'm just going to cut that off. Just going to leave a little bit of the white fabric around the edge. And then I'll pop that down with the hot glue. And I'm just gluing down some lined paper on the back for the journaling spot. Probably easier to do this before you go filling the front of the card up. I just forgot to do it when I was making this one. But that's what I did previously, was put the paper on the back first. And here's the front all finished off. I think this is just beautiful. I really love that purple and the cream together. I think it's just really nice. And the yellow of the center of the flower is just a nice pop of other colour. And then you've got the flowers down the left hand side from the original card. So really happy with that one. Love it. Absolutely love it. Let me know in the comments what you think. But of course I decided I wanted a little bit more. So I thought about a lace, another bit of lace or a flower or something up in that top left hand corner, and ended up making a bow out of a piece of muslin and gluing that on. So I was really happy with that. Okay, so let's have a look at what I made. So I've got a handful of them. Tell me in the comments which one you like the best. My favourite is the last one, the purple one. So they're all different in their own way, but all similar as well. I've used scraps of lace and bits of stuff that could have been thrown away, but I've hung on to and finally found a use for. Images from books that I've cut out ages ago and just had them in a little collection, so I was glad to use them up. So I hope this has inspired you to use up some of what you've got. So that's what the cards look like to start with. So I was never going to use these again because I had them made for a specific purpose. And I thought, well, rather than throw them away, I'll just make something out of them. And they're perfect. They're the same size as a postcard, so absolutely perfect. And yeah, as I say, I hope I've inspired you to make some, or to use up what you've got lying around. Now, if you're not subscribed to my channel and you watch my videos all the time, how about hitting that subscribe button? It helps people to find my channel. Doesn't cost you anything. All you got to do is hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications, you'll never miss another video. Don't forget to leave a comment, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you have to, and enjoy your crafting experience. And I'll see you in another video very soon. So till then, happy crafting, hugs and cheers from Australia. Hooroo!